I'm gonna make an announcement about it too. Wait, the mic isn't clicking now, is it? I'm curious. Because now I have a Bluetooth device near it. Mic's good still. Okay, sorry. I'm just paranoid because I want to make sure it's not doing it. But anyway, so also an announcement to make, and I'll post the announcement too. But every Tuesday, and the time is going to be determined. But Amy and I are going to co-host um, psychology discussions in here, um, for whoever wants to join, and we're gonna obviously record them and post them for later. But Amy has, um, what is it that you have again, baby? She's got a master's degree in something with psychology. She just told me today, so I forgot what the exact wording is. I just don't want to say it wrong. Basically, I think I know what it is, but I don't want to say it wrong. A master's in industrial and organizational psychology with an emphasis on neuroscience. Okay, so that being said, Amy will be in here facilitating these psychology discussions, and I think that they'll be really, really, really interesting. So it doesn't sound hoity-toity. It's just it sounds cool. It sounds like something I want to be a part of. Oh my gosh, I'm so used to my headset having a cable, and I just tried to like move the cable out of the way before I screwed my chair up, but there's no cable. I want to blend psychology background with trading, says Amy. Yeah, and that's really cool. Like, I feel like that'll be a really cool thing to have. Um, it's basically like, I don't know. We can create a professional environment in here and grow together, not just with trading. And I'm really into that. So, but yeah, I'll make the announcement about that again later, but just wanted to throw that out there now. And yeah, we'll get into this audiobook, okay? Dang, maybe we should listen to the preface, but I think it's fine.
First verse of the Tao Te Ching, quote, "The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. The Tao is both named and nameless. As nameless, it is the origin of all things. As named, it is the mother of 10,000 things. Ever desireless, one can see the mystery. Ever desiring, one sees only the manifestations. And the mystery itself is the doorway to all understanding." Unquote. Living the mystery. In this opening verse of the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu tells us that the Tao is both named and nameless. This sounds paradoxical to our Western intellect, and it is. Paradoxical thinking is embedded in Eastern concepts such as yin and yang, or the feminine and the masculine, and where things are comfortably described as both this and that. We in the West, by contrast, tend to view opposites as incompatible concepts that contradict each other. Yet this book is asking that we change our ingrained ways of thinking and see how our lives change as a result. The Tao is an unknowable, unseeable realm where everything originates, while at the same time the Tao is invisibly within everything. When we desire to see this invisibleness, this mystery, we attempt to define it in terms of the outer world of form, what Lao Tzu calls the 10,000 things. He counsels us that letting go of trying to see the mystery will actually allow us to see it. Or as I like to think of it, let go and let God. But how can we do that? One way is to permit ourselves to practice more paradoxical thinking by recognizing that desiring, or wanting, and desireless, allowing, are different and the same, rather like the mysterious ends of a continuum. Desiring is the physical expression of creating conditions that allow us to be receptive. That is, it's in the world preparation for receiving. According to Lao Tzu, wanting to know or see the mystery of the Tao will reveal evidence of it in a variety of manifestations, but not the mystery itself. But this isn't a dead end. From this ground of desiring, the flowering of the mysterious Tao grows. It's as if wanting transforms into effortless allowing. Desiring, one sees the manifestations. Desireless, one can see the mystery itself. When we tune into what Lao Tzu is telling us, it becomes readily apparent that our world produces abundant examples of this paradoxical process. Think of gardening and desiring those luscious homegrown tomatoes or spring daffodils. Allowing them to grow is ultimately what happens. Now think of the things in life that involve wanting and how they differ from allowing. Wanting to go to sleep, for instance, rather than going to sleep. Wanting to diet rather than dieting. Wanting to love rather than loving. In this reference to the Tao, desireless means trusting, permitting, and allowing. Desire is both the beginning and the ground of desirelessness. Yet wanting is also the beginning and the ground of allowing. They are the same, and they are different. Pay attention to times when you can feel in your body where you are on the continuum between desiring and allowing, or trying and doing. Trying to play the piano, drive the car, or ride the bicycle is the same as and different from actually playing the piano, driving the car, and riding the bicycle. Once these outer world activities are desired and learned, there's a time when allowing is what you do. The point here is to recognize the difference in your body between trying and allowing, and to then become aware of the effortless sensation of the latter. This practice will also lead to a greater awareness of the invisible mystery and the 10,000 things which are the visible phenomenon of our world. The 10,000 things that Lao Tzu refers to represent the categorized, classified, and scientifically named objects of the earth, which help us to communicate and identify what we're talking and thinking about. Yet for all our technological expertise and scientific categorization, we can never truly create a human eye or liver or even a grain of wheat for that matter. Each of these things, along with the remainder that comprise the known or named world, emerge from the mystery, the eternal Tao. Just as the world is not its named parts, we're not exclusively the skin, bone, and rivers of fluids that we're physically made of. We too are the eternal Tao, invisibly animating our tongues to speak, our ears to hear, our eyes to see and experience the manifest and the mystery. Consciously allowing this nameless mystery is ultimately the way to practice the Tao. Does this mean putting yourself in harm's way? Of course not. Does that mean trusting the mystery at the moment you're being mugged or mistreated? Probably not. Does it mean never trying to change things? No. It does mean cultivating a practice of being in the mystery and allowing it to flow through you unimpeded. It means permitting the paradox of being in form at the same time that you allow the mystery to unfold. Do the Tao. Find your personal way of living in the mystery, as Lao Tzu says in this first verse, and the mystery itself is the doorway to all understanding. Here's my advice for translating this passage into daily practice in this 21st century. First and foremost, enjoy the mystery. Let the world unfold without always attempting to figure it all out. Let relationships just be. For example, since everything is going to stretch out in divine order, don't try so hard to make something work. Simply allow. Don't always toil at trying to understand your mate or your children or your parents or your boss or anyone else, because the Tao is working at all times. When expectations are shattered, practice allowing that to be the way it is. Relax. Let go. Allow. And recognize that some of your desires are about how you think your world should be, rather than how it is at that moment. Become an astute observer. Judge less and listen more. Take time to open your mind to the fascinating mystery and uncertainty that we all experience. And then, practice letting go of always naming and labeling. The labeling process is what most of us were taught in school. We studied hard to be able to define things correctly in order to get what we called high grades. Most educational institutions insisted on identifying everything, leading to a tag that distinguished us graduates with knowledge of specific categories. Yet we know, without anyone telling us, that there's no title or degree or distinguishing label that truly defines us. In the same way that water is not the word water any more than it is agua, Wasser, or H2O. Nothing in this universe is what it's named. In spite of our endless categorizations, each animal, flower, mineral, and human can never truly be described. In the same way, the Tao tells us that the name that can be named is not the eternal name. We must bask in the magnificence of what is seen and sensed, instead of always memorizing and categorizing. Do the Tao now. At some point today, notice an instant of annoyance or irritation you have with another person or situation. Decide to do the Tao, or practice the Way, in that moment by turning inward with curiosity about where you are on the continuum between desire and allowing. Permit the paradox of wanting the irritant to vanish and allowing it to be what it is. Look inward for it in your thoughts and allow yourself to feel it wherever it is and however it moves in your body. Turn all of your attention to becoming open-minded, allowing permissiveness to befriend the mystery within yourself. Notice how the feeling manifests itself, perhaps doing loop-de-loops in your stomach, giving a rigidness to your skeleton, making your heart pound, or tightening your throat. Wherever it is, allow it as an enigmatic messenger within you, and give it non-judgmental attention. Notice the desire for the feeling to disappear, and allow it to be monitored compassionately by you. Accept whatever comes. Encounter the mystery within without labeling, explaining, or defending. It's a subtle distinction at first, which you must take personal responsibility for identifying. You alone can prepare the ground of your being for the experience of living the mystery.
Okay. So, really interesting. And I wrote some things down that I want to talk about. So, I'm going to do that real fast. But so there's honestly in each one of these verses, there's multiple things to that can be like that you can take away from it. Right? Um there's so many different things and so many different ways that you can look at each one of these, and you can highlight different pieces of each one that stand out the most to you. And um for me the part that stood out the most is basically trying versus allowing. uh that part to me was my favorite part, because the way I see it is when you try less and allow more, you remove expectations from things. Um, because when we try hard at things, we're it's like we're doing things with the outcome of either being happy or not happy, right? And so like when you try and it doesn't work out, you're disappointed, right? Versus like allowing things to just kind of work out how they're supposed to and just doing the things that you know you should. It's kind of like, to me, that is going to give more like emotional and mental freedom, because you just allow things to be, and then you don't have to force your way into, you know, like you don't have to force your feelings or your emotions on things in life. You just allow things to be, and like by doing that, everything just kind of circles back to you, you know? That's interesting. That's just my take on it. That was my highlight for that. So, pretty interesting. Just the first one. There's I think about that specifically with trading. How so? Because I could definitely think about that with trading too, but I want to hear what you think or your point of. For example, allowing a trade to fail and not sitting in it trying to force a win. Yeah, that's right. Like the only thing that we can actually do while we're trading that's in our control is either getting in or getting out of a trade, right? After we get in, it's out of our control. The only thing that's in our control after that is getting out. So, like, you have to just allow it to work. And, like when you start changing your levels around and doing what you think is going to be things that will help you force a win, it's not going to work. Like, oh, maybe if I drag my stop loss further away and give it a more chance to work, then maybe it'll reverse after, or oh my gosh, it's working. I should drag my take profit further away and further away and further away. And then it comes back and you're like, oh, well, could have got out, you know? That's why lately I've been really trying to do like just hard levels because it just feels more mechanical to me. It feels more robotic and less emotional because I'm not a I'm not managing the trade based on what I want. I'm managing it based on what I see and just letting it do it. And allowing the market to do its thing. It's not against you if it fails. That's just how the market moves. Yeah, nobody will win every time ever. So, yeah, really good verse honestly. Dude, I listened to this whole thing like it's literally over 9 hours worth of verses, and I went through this whole thing, and it's all just so good. And I feel like listening through it again will be helpful because I probably ADHD'd out of half of it, and so I'm doing this to share it with others, and also I want to listen to it again and really like expand on each verse afterwards to kind of just learn more each time. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Anybody have anything else they want to add to that? Such a good book, dude. Seriously, like, I listened to this one and then I just smashed another one after that because it was so good. All right. Well, then that's going to do it for the audiobook. I'm going to cut it there.